playing live with another player. And so the stress and the adrenaline of that kind of 1v1 experience, like, man.
See, that sounds so much better, because that was one of the issues that I had with Clash of Clans is, like, when you're getting attacked, there's nothing you can do. And no matter how you build your base, like, people will study like base builds, and they'll be able to figure out like the best way to attack a base that's built a certain way. And then they had my brother was telling me recently, I think it was a clan in China that they had the program where they were running simulations so they could take your base, do a screenshot of it, and they had a program that would analyze the picture, I guess, and run simulations and figure out the easiest way to win the match, or to, to destroy the base. So, like, yeah, that I didn't really like that. I especially if it kind of frustrated me. It's like, oh, I'm getting attacked. Why can't I just maybe send out my guys? Like, say, hey, you guys go here. Like, that would have been better for me. So that sounds, I guess, crap. What's the name? Clash Battle. All these names. Clash Royale. So it sounds like Clash Royale is more along the lines with what I wanted.
Yeah, because like even you can have like the best deck combination. Each deck is made up of 8 different cards. And I forget how many cards. There are like 50 cards, maybe over 50 now with the new update. So like every deck you encounter and the ones you can build are pretty different, and you can play them very differently. You can have a very low cost deck where everything you have is just like only costs 2 or 3 elixir. So you can keep like firing off cards and just kind of your strategy is then like to overwhelm your opponent. Or you can have a really high elixir average cost for your deck, and you're really playing for the big guns. There's a new legendary card that came out in the new update called Sparky, and it's basically this tank that slowly rolls across the battlefield, and then it takes 10 seconds to charge up this huge, like, big Tesla shot. And like if it hits a tower, like half the HP is gone immediately. It can take out a mob of characters coming at you instantly. But it also has, kind of mediocre HP, so you gotta be careful that it doesn't get overwhelmed. You still need to protect it. But to play that card, like, you have to cater a deck to kind of play around that. It's really tough to just play it and surprise your opponent within a really functional deck otherwise. Like, that's usually how these decks are built, with a certain strategy in mind, right? So, and what makes it different than, let's say, Clash of Clans and Boom Beach is that it's not preset. It's always the decks you encounter, like, they're random. Anything could be in there. You're not going to know until they play. Plus, you have to think of how is your opponent going to strategize against you? How am I going to defend that attack? How am I going to prepare my attacks versus what the cards I now know that they have from watching them play? And then there's the improv factor. Just because you have this great strategy that works 9 times out of 10, every once in a while you're gonna play against a person who they've seen that combo. They've seen people run that attack before. They know exactly how to defend against that. And they're going to make sure that you're going to play that way so they can bait you in, kill your guys, and then push their own attack.
I like it.
No, it's great. Like, it is one of the best, if not the best, mobile games I have played thus far.
All right, so I'm going to have to talk to my brother and see if we can move the clan on over.
Hey, I'm just saying that Alex and we are in a top 150 clan in the U.S. Like, we take this seriously. So if you and your brother, if you want in, we'll get you in. But yeah, that's what's great about pairing up and joining a good clan with a good set of, like, dedicated players, is that they're going to make sure that they give you the cards that you need. So if you love playing with barbarians or goblins or whatever it is in your deck, you can keep requesting those cards. And if you got a good clan, they want you to succeed, because that only improves their rankings. And the cards you don't have, you want to give away, because you never want to upgrade the cards that you're not going to use.
Got it.
That just costs you money. And while we were talking about the free-to-play models and, like, monetization, I will admit, maybe publicly for the first time, Clash Royale is the first mobile game I spent money on. I know.
What?
I was surprised. And no, I didn't buy like legendary cards or I was just
I am genuinely shocked.
no, I was shocked too.
Oh, well, okay. I'm definitely interested in playing this now. See if it can get me to spend money. We'll see what happens.
That's the real challenge, isn't it?
Oh man.
But yeah, it just seemed like it was worth it because of the competitive factor. Where it was like, man, if I just bought some gold so I could upgrade these cards, because it can take some time before you can upgrade cards, especially the higher level they are. Like it kind of the requirement to get to the next level like exponentially grows. It like doubles. That's not exponentially, but it doubles like every time the card requirement plus then the gold cost. So yeah, I can have, I forget what it is. I think it's a level 8 card in order to upgrade to level 9, you need like a common card because there are 4 different types of cards. Commons, rares, epics, and legendaries. And so common cards, you need 400 to go from level 8 to level 9. And like I have more than 400 cards of this one, Barbarians, that I use. And I'm running a little low on gold, right? But in order for me to properly compete to rise up in the ranks, like there is definitely incentive for me to drop the $5 or whatever it is to get the extra gold to then upgrade the card so that I can keep, climbing the ranks. Now, if you're not into rank climbing, which a lot of people are not, and I usually am not, then it may not be worth it. And you can, you'll earn this stuff naturally over time anyway. Like you don't have to spend the money. But in order to keep up with my clan, there is like a little bit of a push, an unspoken push from everyone that, well, you got to keep the rank high. So I did that. I haven't spent much money. I think I've spent $10 on it so far total. There are some people, they have dropped thousands and thousands of dollars on this game. Oof. That is not me, right? Like they can own the top ranks as far as I'm concerned. I would rather have, good cards and, a better strategy than the best cards. And you never really know how to play. Which occasionally you encounter those players where like, oh, this guy dropped like $200 on this deck. But like, well, let me just kill you because I'm smarter. That's the hope, at least. Other times you just get steamrolled because there's nothing you can do. The level of the cards are way too high, stuff like that. But yeah, it's really fun. Highly recommended. And like I said, it's the first mobile game to get me to drop anything on it.
And I think that's what's the most telling of everything you said. That's what's most telling for me. Like I'm still in shock here.
Next time I'll just jump to that. We won't even talk about the game. I'll just say no, seriously, I spent money on it. A mobile game. It's crazy. Man, oh man. What else have you been playing? Because I've been kind of this year, 2016, I've made it a point to kind of finally tear through my backlog.
Yeah, I think we kind of both made that decision, and that's kind of what I've been doing. Just kind of going through games that I need to finish. And man, it's so tough making our way through some of these. Like one of the ones I'm trying to finish up is Final Fantasy Type 0. It's a really good game, but it is an HD port from a PSP game. So like it's good. I'm enjoying it, but like it's not really pushing me to finish it. I know I need to, but
sure.
But yeah, there's stuff like that, and some 3DS titles that I've had never finished, or even DS titles like popped in Castlevania the other day. I forgot Order of Ecclesia. So just a bunch of random stuff. What I did play, as far as moving away from mobile, what I did play that I really loved recently was the 5-day Neo demo.
Oh man,
So let me pull up some information on Neo just so I can have that in front of me, because it's Team Ninja. They're the ones who did like Ninja Gaiden.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to see if anyone else was part of it. Oh yeah, published by Koei Tecmo, but I don't think they had anything to do with the development. But basically, it is a Dark Souls-like game, which apparently that is a new genre, a Souls-like. It's kind of like the new Metroidvania.
Yep.
A game that sparks its own genre. But it's very much like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. But what I always had a hard time with in Dark Souls, one is Dark Souls is a very slow game. Mm-hmm. So it's more about taking your time, waiting for the right moment, defense. And then what I loved about Bloodborne was it had the, really tough difficulty, like you're dying all the time, which is fun. Kind of, it's got that old school feel, that really tough challenge that I've been missing for a while. But unlike Dark Souls, Bloodborne was a much faster pace, and it awarded players who were aggressive. Okay. And that's kind of more along the lines with what Neo is. So Neo is that type of game, very much like Souls and Bloodborne, where you even have, instead of candles or whatever, you have shrines. So you try to make it to the next shrine. But what I love the setting. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. So one of the things about Dark Souls is that it's also set in the medieval time. It's not medieval time. It's not really an existent place, so it's not a real thing. But it's like knights and that kind of stuff.
It's got Neo. Yeah, it's got that medieval aesthetic.
Yes, precisely. So yeah, Neo is set in Japan, like a long time ago, maybe like the Edo period or something. I don't remember the exact dates. But it's set a long time ago in Japan with these kind of classic Japanese demons. I can't think of the right word. Not classic. What's the word I'm going for? They're these actual beings that exist through Japanese lore. That's kind of what I'm looking for.
Okay.
So yeah, these really beautiful Japanese aesthetic, and I am a Japanophile for just so you all know, from here on out, I am a Japanophile. Everything about Japan. I went to college in Japan. I lived in Japan. My wife is Japanese. I love Japanese games. Like, I'm obsessed with Japan. Anime, all of it. Like,
and you speak Japanese very well.
And I do. So yeah. So when they announce like, oh, it's a Souls-like game set in Japan, I'm like, sold, done.
There it is.
I'm good. But Neo was really good, and yeah, they've got some things to adjust. Some of the movement mechanics. I hope they make some small adjustments. But overall, I thought it was a great experience. I know there were a lot of people who had very terrible experience with it, who just got demolished and just gave up. Even people who played the Dark Souls games.
Yeah,
and I think maybe that's less that it's not a bad game. Maybe they just need to fine tune the mechanics a little bit. So maybe that's all the issue was. But I didn't have that hard of a time. I mean, it's been a while since I played Bloodborne, so it took me a second to really get back into that. There's a certain way you have to play. You can't just like run in. Like, it's not like Ninja Gaiden or another hack and slash game. You can't just run up and start swinging your sword. Like, you have to be smart about it. So it took 30 minutes or an hour before like I was really like comfortable again.
Yeah.
And really starting to make progress. But yeah, I love that style game. It took me, I never really got into Dark Souls, but I was like totally sold on Bloodborne. And then with this one, with the aesthetic and gameplay, like I just totally love it. I can't wait. And what's cool is that, if you played the demo and if you beat the demo, you get some kind of DLC. I'm not sure exactly what it is yet, but you play the demo and beat it, you get something for the real game, which is totally cool. I love that. I think that's a brilliant marketing strategy.
Yeah, that's good incentive.
I mean, more people need to do that. That's so smart.
Who else,
so yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
Doesn't